everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host, Justin P., and my MVP co host, Miss Shannon Finch. This is episode 48 for the YouTube channel, and for the audio version of season 1, episode 42. You can check it out on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Podplot, Podtail, Podchaster, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your music and podcast stuff from. Just type in Talking Ravens all day, everyday podcast, and they'll list all the available links and sites that we're on. Today is Thursday. We got a good show for y'all. Shannon got some fire topics. So I'm gonna go ahead and let my co-host get right into it. What you got for us first, Shannon?
All right. So it's been some big Ravens news for the past week. I feel like the past week is made up for everything we dealt with over the past 4 or 5 months, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was announced that the Ravens have agreed to a 1 year deal with Rocket Sin, a cornerback from the Raiders. What are your thoughts on the addition, and do you think that shuts the door on Marcus Peters or Fuller reunion?
Great topic. Great question. It was a good sign. Remember, when I shared like my early 53-man roster, I had his name up there. He wasn't even signed yet. Reason I
Mm-hmm.
did that because I knew he had a great visit. They liked him. Talking to a lot of Colts and Raiders fans, they said a lot of good things about him. Technical sound corner. And I watched his film in college when he was at Temple. Remember, I told you him and Tavon Young and Hassan
Mm-hmm.
Reddick all played together for 1 year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's a press man corner, going to cover his guy, going to come up and tackle. He's a guy, like I said, he's like Byron Jones. He's not going to get 10 interceptions. That's just not their thing.
Mm-hmm.
They may get 3 or 4 at the most and get a bunch of pass breakups, forced fumbles. Because Marlon Humphrey, he's a guy. He's probably one of those guys. He's never going to get double digit picks, but he's going to make up for it in forced fumbles, strips, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than one way to get a turnover than just an interception, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
Rocketson do. Like Rocketson brings to the table, and he physical. Like he challenges receivers at the line of scrimmage. He don't back down from nobody. And now here being the number 2 corner versus with the Raiders and with the Colts, he had to be the number 1 guy. So now that
Mm-hmm.
relieves some pressure off him, knowing that he got an All Pro corner on the other side. Taking away the number 1 receiver, he taking away the number 2. So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a great sign. Oh, somebody honking the horn.
And that's
but yeah, overall good sign. And does it shut the door on Marcus Peters and Fuller? It all depends. It all depends how everything going camp. If Caillou Blue Kelly and Trayvon Mullins and all them have an amazing camp, I'm just saying if Peters and Fuller will probably still be around because he's still recovering. So I'm pretty sure he won't get signed right away. But if Peters still available and like I said, somebody struggling or if an injury happen, definitely I can see them bringing them back. But as of right now, they're gonna go if they got because they're trying to save a spot for like another edge rusher. Because there's been
mm-hmm.
talks they're trying to they may try to bring back Justin Houston. There's been talks that Clowney might be in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Floyd, who I'm high on, he might be in the picture, and also an interior defensive line because we lost Calais Campbell. That was a big loss from a performance standpoint and a leadership
Mm-hmm.
standpoint. So we may address the interior D line too. So we're trying to keep our signings, at a premium right now. And plus a guard, the left guard position is up for grabs because if Ben Cleveland don't come in shape, we may try to bring in a veteran guard.
Mm-hmm.
What's Gabe Jackson? He's played for the Seahawks and Raiders. Dalton Ross and Dalton Ross, or whatever his name, he played for Denver. So it's some Taylor Lewan. They might bring him in and make him and let him play guard. So it's some other spots we definitely can use another sign in that because right now we are good at corner. Caillou Blue Kelly, Rocky Sin, Marlon Humphrey, Demarion Pepe Williams, Jalen Norman Davis, Trayvon Mullins, Brandon Stevens, Daryl Worley, and Kavon Seymour. So they're gonna rock with what they got at first. And like I said, if injury happened or somebody just flat out just not getting it done. Other than that, we're gonna rock with
Mm-hmm.
what we got.
Well, I completely agree with you. Initially, I didn't know much about him. Like a lot of Ravens fans were saying, we didn't know much about who he was. I did look at his stats in comparison to like Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, and his numbers weren't far off from what they do. And everything you just said kind of made me excited for having him on the other side of Marlon. A couple of weeks ago, you also mentioned how we have cornerbacks that you would like to get some, more playing time. So I just feel like because of the new signing, and because of what you just said, like we might need help up front with the edge or defensive line. They might not go to look to bring in Marcus Peters or Fuller again. I actually forgot about because it happened so early in the year, and so much football was played after that. The whole situation with Harbaugh and Marcus Peters on the sideline. I don't think it really messed anything up like last season, but
Mhm.
we all know that Harbaugh doesn't really. I think that he allows his guys to be themselves and say what they have to say. But for the most part, we've seen that when guys get that combative with John Harbaugh, they're not around much longer. So it wouldn't surprise me if Marcus Peters is not back, initially. But like you said, if something happens when camp starts, training camp starts, OTAs and all of that, somebody gets hurt, God forbid, or if it just seems like it's not working out with the guys aren't coming along as we would hope they would have, then I could see the Ravens, doubling back and seeing what Marcus Peters is doing if he's still available, or even Fuller or whoever else might be there. But I think right now we're going to go into OTAs and the training camp with who we have, barring something happening that changes that. And like you mentioned, the interceptions. I mean, for my cornerbacks, I don't really care if they don't get a lot of interceptions, only because I would prefer you to stop touchdowns. If you can hinder the other team from scoring touchdowns, I really don't care about an interception. But even though we like turnovers, right? Like you said, you can get a turnover in different ways. We do still have Marcus Williams back there, and before he got hurt last year, he was like a huge difference maker in that regard. So even if our cornerbacks aren't, getting interceptions, if they're forcing turnovers or creating turnovers, and we have that ball hawk back there, I think we're in good shape. So unfortunately, I just don't see them coming back right now unless something happens with the guys that we have.
Okay, I'm about to read some of these. I'm about to post some of these comments real fast.
Okay.
Uh,
Harbaugh
says
doesn't like
Harbaugh.
alpha males.
Yeah, I mean that's true to an extent, but like it's all about respect. As long as you respect Harbaugh doing it, like not like basically what Marcus Peters did, that wasn't respect. Like that just flat out
Right.
just was like he just was like
Yeah, I just
when
want to
Anquan
say I
Bolton.
don't. No, go ahead.
Oh, oh yeah, so what Anquan Bolton and them did, they did behind closed doors and aired it out. They didn't do it where as though the public could see it, so it's a little different.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say as well. It's just different once it becomes public. Because even when it was reported that it was a mutiny that year, like we found out about it after the fact. We didn't know
Mm,
that occurred. So when we found out, it wasn't like a big deal or drama because, like I said, time had already passed. When you see that on the field during a game, it's kind of like, eh. So I won't say that John Harbaugh doesn't like alpha males. The reason why I won't say that is because he does allow the guys to voice their opinions. It's not like you can't have an opinion, with John Harbaugh being your head coach. Now, some things we do like to keep internal. I know a lot of guys complain about what John Harbaugh doesn't say, but ultimately, I think that it's not about, like you said, it's not about not liking alpha males, but it's a matter of respect. And in that situation, it looked like the respect was gone, even though we still went on throughout the whole season last year.
yeah, agreed. Somebody like I said, it don't show the name, so sorry if I can't see your name. That's why I tell everybody comment through YouTube because it'll show the names. But it says I
Hmm.
like our guys. I'm assuming he talking about the cornerbacks.
That's John Harbaugh's line. John Harbaugh always say, "I like our guys." That's
Yeah,
that's something from John Harbaugh.
I do too for the most. I do for him for the most part. Like I said, getting Rocky Sin definitely made me more confident. So now it's me. I just want to get this pass rush, on point.
Yeah. All right. So now that the dust has settled with Lamar, do you think that there's going to be some work that needs to be done to repair with the front office, coaches, and players? Or do you think that since the deal got done, all is well and it's all good?
I'm gonna say all this was all good because, like I said, if it wasn't, they still would have this wouldn't have got done. He still would have been. He would have had to end up just signing that tag, and they wouldn't have got Odell. They wouldn't have drafted Zay. It just would
Hmm.
have been a stalemate. But they got it done. Like I said, both of them came to a number where everybody can live with.
Hmm.
Lamar finally, he realized he got to stop just letting the NFLPA try to make him the golden child for something that's really unprecedented outside of one contract.
Mm-hmm.
So he really, he got together with his people who they like, nah, man, like 185 still is great generation wealth money. You're not gonna be hurting for no money. So
Right.
they got it done, which is good. They followed it up by getting Zay Flowers. They went and signed Odell, drafted two linemen. They still made, like I said, you never know. Did Acosta may shock us? We might wake up tomorrow morning, cut Ravens trade for DeAndre Hopkins. You never know. He's never. One thing I will say about Eric DeCosta, and I've been a little critical of him, he's never satisfied with the roster. He's always trying to find a way to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take that away from him. So, like I said, he made shock us and trade for DeAndre Hopkins, and say, you know what, we're going to make this undefendable offense, and the best way to do it, put as much talent around your quarterback as humanly possible. So,
Mm-hmm.
you come up with Zay Flowers, you come up, I'm just hypothetically speaking, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell, Duvernay, Bateman, like every it's gonna be a lot of 1-on-1s. Then you got your tight
Mm-hmm.
ends and the running backs. So I think all is good though, because like I said, he got the deal done. He came in and signed it, and they went hard for him to get some weapons.
Mm-hmm. Um, if I would have answered this question yesterday, I would have answered it differently. And I said that because I thought about this in total, in all, like not just Lamar. So first, let me say what my opinion was yesterday, and then today my opinion changed. Yesterday when I thought about this question, I thought, well, you know what? It really might be some repairing that needs to be done. The reason I was thinking it might be is because, for one, I'll say not Lamar. Lamar wasn't in my initial reasoning because for me, as I've been saying this whole time, it never seemed like it was an issue with the organization when it came to Lamar. It just seemed like it was about money. Even when he posted his tweet talking about he requested his trade, the way he worded it, it was all about money, like his value. It was never about the players, the system, the coaches, right? So for Lamar, I don't think there's anything to repair. I think that I feel like they all were mature enough to understand that this was business as usual, right? But then I thought about everybody else, like Bateman, for instance, right? And we all know about the rant that he went on when Eric DaCosta said what he said that upset him, which happened to be the same day that, Lamar said he requested a trade the same day that Eric DaCosta did the press conference. We just found out about it after the fact. So all of that happened around the same time. Bateman was in his feelings. Even though he deleted the tweets, I think that Bateman kind of saw the whole thing and not just quotes of the press conference, and maybe he took things in context and had a different opinion about it after seeing it. But initially, he was emotional. Dobbins has been complaining and very vocal since the season ended. I mean, he said it literally after the playoff game, and he recently, maybe not even a week ago, like retweeted something, and it was of I forgot what game it was, but he had made a quote like, "Just imagine if," and then put "never mind," right? So
Yeah,
I and we shouldn't assume, but because you don't say what it is, I assume that was more of a, had you handed me the ball in that playoff game, or had you handed me the ball more, period, we would have had different outcomes, right? So in that sense, it made me feel like it's going to be some work to be done because with how Bateman felt towards Eric DaCosta, the things that Bateman said were more directed towards coaching. The things that Dobbins said was more directed towards coaching, right? Now I think about it and say, but the Ravens have addressed the coaching issue. We can blame it on John Harbaugh because the buck stops with him. As the head coach, it's all on him. He can override anything that he wants to as the head coach. But we also know that as the head coach and the type of head coach that he is, he allows his coordinators to do their job. Right or wrong or indifferent, John Harbaugh will let you do your job. So here in the press conference today with John Harbaugh, Eric DaCosta, and Lamar Jackson, it changed my opinion about whether work is going to need to be done. The reason I say that is because Lamar being the leader of our team, the guys are going to go as he goes, particularly on offense. And all of the defensive guys, they seem to love him as well. So when you don't have something like a contract hanging over your head, like even if Lamar would have came in and played on a franchise tag, his contract still would have been a topic of discussion the whole season, right? So when you know that you can go into your OTAs and your training camp and preseason and the regular season not thinking about that, it changes everything. When you know you're going into your OTAs and your training camps and your regular season with the new offense and a new coordinator and just a new mindset altogether, it changes things all the way around. Lamar said in his press conference today that even though he just got his iPad to know what the offense is, obviously his teammates have talked to him about what the offense looked like, and he likes it. He's excited about it, and he's excited about the weapons that he has around him. So I say all of that to say, yesterday I felt one way. Today I feel different. Today I don't feel like there's anything that needs to be repaired because Lamar seems to be happy, and I feel like that changes everything. If he comes in a good mood and high expectations and wanting to do well with the pieces around him, with the offense that we expect to have, there's nothing to repair. You know, win incurs all, and the fact that he got his deal done, that was the biggest thing, and now that's no longer a thing. So I don't think there's anything to repair with the players and the coaches in the front office.
Grim said the contract is basically the same. The problem was the other moves. Lamar wanted help. Once he got the help, he was ready to go 6,000 yards. I like that.
That's true. I think that I think that he definitely challenged the Ravens to do better. As he said in his press conference today, and we talked about this too. If it was true, like we always say, if like Lamar demanded for the Ravens to get Odell or D Hop, and he said he didn't demand it. He kind of just was like, "Is it possible to do that?" So that lets you know that regardless of how bad things got or seemed to be between the organization and Lamar, Lamar's mindset to me is still showed that he wanted to be here. You know, because you wouldn't be talking about the pieces you want around you. You wouldn't be caring about what the offense looks like. You wouldn't be caring about all of that if you genuinely wanted to go somewhere else. Um, and he's right. The contract is not really much different than what or they're right. We don't know who that is, but the contract isn't much different from what was reported in September. You know, it's a little, language different, all of that, but nothing out of this world. I feel like it's a contract that both parties could live with. And I will give Lamar a shout out for the no. I saw that he got the no trade clause in his deal, and also the no tag. No tag. I guess they can't tag him again. I didn't even know you could do that. But that means in 2027, if he doesn't have a new extension or new deal, he can be a legit free agent. So it works out for everybody. If the Ravens want to, rework the deal, which I think they will, looking at what his cap hit will be the last 2 years, they can do that. But if not, everybody can walk away and wash their hands at the end of this 5-year deal. So it's perfect. Like I think that once that deal got done, it just shored up everything.
Yeah, to piggyback off this, whoever that is, I don't want to call nobody Facebook user, but we can't see it like I told you. I don't know why I decided letting us do it, but like I said, comment through the YouTube channel where it's it. But it's the same. They bulked up the guarantee money as they should. Me and Shannon both said that was just a matter of, I knew 133 wasn't going to cut it, and you said the same thing. I said at least 180, and they got the 185. So, that's only a half, from 200. And it may, like I said, with his incentives, he probably will make up to 200 for the guarantee. Because, I think,
Mm-hmm.
staying healthy, which he's not an injury prone player. I know everybody try to make it feel like that way because the time of the year he got hurt the last 2 years. It made you feel that way. But all in all, he's played in 85% of the games he's played. So that's still a great ratio. But you know, all else go well, like no starting receivers and nothing go down, he's going to hit his incentives and more because, like I said, rushing and passing. So he's going to definitely make a ton of money. So yeah, it definitely was. He definitely said, "Man, I no offense, Bateman, you my guy, but you and Andrew just can't be my main targets. Like I did it with
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood and him. It works during the regular season, but in the playoffs, teams, we only got to stop 5 and 89 or 7 and 89. You're not going to beat those teams like that, the Kansas Cities and the Bengals, who got 4 or 5 targets to throw to. So
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Man, we need more. We need more bullets in the gun. If you shoot in the gun at a monster, you don't want to have 2 bullets. Feel me? You want to
Yeah.
have as many bullets. You want to have as many bullets as you can. That's the best dynamics can put it in. So it's not that nobody think that Rashad can't play or nothing like that. The boy showed flashes, so we know the talent's there. It's just the durability that got to just be consistent. That's all. We know he can play. All right,
Yeah.
what else you got for us, co-host?
So keeping it talking about the offense, right? We have a lot of new pieces, a new offensive scheme, obviously. Do you see a role for Pat Ricard in this new offense?
Patrick Ricard, yeah, because Todd Monken do use a fullback. It's probably not as much as Greg Roman, but he'll still
Mm-hmm.
be used, and he can still come up and be a blocking tight end. So he'll still get used. He probably won't get used as a lot, but he still be out there because Georgia had a fullback there too. So I
Mhm.
could see him definitely still being a lead blocker, short yardage, still catching his little passes in the flat, stuff like that. Even on the goal line, get a couple carries. So his snaps are not going to just decrease a lot. I know everybody think he basically just ain't going to be as non-existent no more. He'll still
Mhm.
have a role. Plus if he do get fizzled out on offense, where we can use him at? Where he or his original position, defensive tackle. Yeah, because like I said, he was our arm man going both ways and making plays on both sides of the ball. So if Todd Monken wanna slowly fizzle him out and use tight ends, which is cool, Mike McDonald about to say, hey, man, you can come back over to the dark side and play in these trenches, man.
Yep. You said what I was gonna say. I don't necessarily. I do expect his touches to be down, not like totally out of it, but just down because we have new weapons. So we don't want to go out there and run the same type of situations. But there will come a time, in certain situations, it might be short yardage situations, or like you said, on a goal line where you might need to put him in, and we might use him more there. But my answer to that was going to be, even if his role decreases offensively, I don't see that it needs to decrease with the team as a whole because, like you mentioned, he can go play on the defensive line if we need him to. You know what I mean? He's a football player, so he's a guy that you can plug and play anywhere. And he seems like a guy that's willing to do that, right? He doesn't seem like somebody that's hung up on needing to be a fullback or having to play, get a lot of offensive snaps. What I will say is, or what I can see, if we want to be that creative, sometimes you can do a two tight end set where it's two tight ends out there. But what if you have him and likely or him and Mark Andrews out there, but he's lined up like a tight end? So it's different ways that you can utilize him, not just expecting him to be a fullback. So I expect his snaps to be down offensively only because I expect us to pass the ball a lot more than we've been running. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a role for him on this team. So again, he's a football player. So I think there'll be a way that we can figure out how to use him. Particularly, he's not making chunk change, So you definitely don't want to just have him on a sideline and not utilizing him. But I definitely think it'll be more like special package situations. Like, we have too many weapons to really be always lining him up, as a tight end. But we know he has the ability to do that if we need him to. And ultimately, if we need him to lead block, he can do that too. If we need him to go on a defensive line and block over there for a bit, he can do that too. So again, he's a football player. Even if the role is decreased offensively, overall, I think he's still going to be a factor for the team.
And then we can put a man on passing situations to pick up blitzes because he's 300 pounds. Nobody's just going to run through him. So
Yeah.
you had him in that chip to pick up like we pick TJ Watt and those guys. If they killing us, he can come. He can go. Keep them guys occupied. That's what I would do with Pat Ricard. If it's
Hmm.
an edge rusher killing us up there, you gonna line up at H back or you gonna be the deep backhand shotgun. As soon as you come off the edge, go meet him because that the 300
Hmm.
pounds keep hitting him in his chest. He not gonna rush the same.
Right. Right. And so my last topic is about the offense and the defense. Do you think that you could see the 2023 Ravens finishing top five in the offense and top five in defense?
Oh, absolutely. Because we like it's been done several times. 2019 has been done. 2018 has been done for the most part. 2014 it was done when Joe Flacco had his best year, and Gary Kubiak we were top 10 and top 5 and top 10 in offense and defense.
Hmm.
2011 it was done. Like it's been done several times. So yeah, I can definitely see it. Only thing that will stop us from hitting that mark is injuries. That's it. Which I don't. I think the football gods gonna give us a break now because Steve Saunders is gone. Now
Hmm.
he can go run somebody else's team. Um, That stupid self. Yeah, so I think we definitely could finish top five and top five offense and defense for sure. Because Todd Monken is gonna put the ball in the air. Lamar definitely gonna have a lot more 300-yard games because now he got the pieces, and now, like I said, we're gonna let it rip.
Hmm.
We're gonna be in probably 12 personnel a lot. For those who don't know, that's 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. So we're gonna be in a lot of 12 and 11 personnel, and we're gonna go some spread. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of receivers on the field. So yeah, it's great. It's great. Be the greatest show on grass. Remember the greatest show on turf, the greatest show on
Yeah.
grass.
So I agree with you. I feel more, and this is surprisingly because I mean, us having a top five defense, that's we could we've had those like we're used to that, right? But I feel real sure about the offense being top five, right? As far as the defense, I don't know. Only right now, as we talk right now in May, I'm saying I don't know. Only because I still have questions about up front. So depending on how we, fill those roles or how the guys perform, by week one, I might have a different opinion. But as we talk right now, I'm like, yes, top five offense. I don't know about a top five defense. Defense, it could probably be top 10. Even with me just thinking about who we have, I could still say it being a top 10 defense. But I do need to know who's going to be up front because everything starts up front in football, period. And the better you are up front, the better you'll be on the back end. So my answer is top five, yes, for the offense. Defense, I don't know. I'm leaning more top 10, but I don't know for sure when we get closer to the season and I see who else we add to the team.
Yeah, remember I was telling you Chuck Smith. If Mike McDonald let Chuck Smith have his input, the whole entire pass rush department is going to be on point, man. Like his
Mm-hmm.
pass rush techniques and stuff he coached is like phenomenal. So if I'm Bowser, Oway, and Jabo, even the interior D line guys, they need to be at his house watching film with him every chance they get. Because
Mm-hmm.
if they do that, and like I said, everybody stay healthy, they can put together a wonderful season. Like we were 6 in sacks last year, which is pretty good, but it didn't feel like it. Like I
No,
wanted to
right.
the point. I wanted to the point like how Philly was last year. Let's get 60, 70 sacks.
Yeah.
Let's get 60, 70 sacks. Like it's real doable because they just showed you it's doable. Like
Mm-hmm.
we probably need one or two more bodies that way we can rotate. And then Mike McDonald just let them guys go eat. Don't have them guys dropping in coverage a whole lot like Wink did. Wink. As good as a defensive coordinator he is, he run guys that's like potential because he had Judon dropping in coverage. Judon like, bro, I'm not a corner. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to have me dropping coverage here and there to take away a certain area of the field, but I get the I'm not going. A team not going to pay me because he covers the flat good. No, they're going to say how many times he got to the quarterback. So yeah,
Yeah.
so let them guys eat. Like McDonald doing a better job with that. He let them guys eat. So the Jabo fully healthy now, and like I said, Bowser fully healthy now because remember he was coming up. He ain't had him till week 4. Oh
Mm-hmm.
wait, like I said, he looks like he's going to get better. Like I said, with Chuck Smith there, you know, yeah, I'm really sure that this pass rush going to be a whole lot better. I definitely want to see them add one more guy like a Leonard Floyd or somebody like that. Or an interior D line, like you just said. I want to see them add Sue. I know everybody
Mm-hmm.
got their little doubts. You know why I'm saying this, right? Because what he bring to the table. I know everybody got their whatever opinions about him. That's fine. But he nasty, gritty, and tough. That's what playing like a Raven is.
Yeah, sure. I want to sue. I want to sue last year, and I think he went to the Eagles. Where did he go? The Eagles, right?
Yeah, Philly. Yeah, he went to Philly.
Yeah, Sue's a dub. People like that, you definitely want them on your team. So yeah, I'm not against that at all.
Yeah, you lose one dog and a future Hall of Famer. Why not replace with another one? Because like I
Hmm.
said, Calais Campbell's it's big. Like, cause remember, as soon as he wasn't in the game, we got rained on. James was running on us. Atlanta was getting some yards on us.
Hmm.
Pittsburgh ran that second game. Pittsburgh ran the ball on us. Bengals ran the ball on us a little bit. Like then once he
And that's
got back,
what you mentioned about Philly is kind of what I want our defensive line to look like. To be able to rotate guys out. Because guys get tired. I mean, if you got to keep chasing guys down, you're going to get tired. And it's good if you can be able to bring guys in and rotate them in and out and really not have that much of a drop off. Um, so yeah, that's my area of concern right now is the defensive line.
yeah, and that's why I said we may need to go back to a 4-3 soon. Because now with a 4-3, it's more attack, attack, attack. Versus a
Hmm.
3-4 is more like you got to be disciplined and see what's going on.
Right.
Then you can rush 4, drop 7 in coverage. That helps the back end out versus sitting 5 and 6.
Hmm.
So that's why I always prefer the 4-3 over a 3-4. Even though we run a hybrid of both, but like our historic defense has always been under 43 defense. 2000 43,
Hmm.
2006 43, 2008, 2004 43 defenses. Yeah, so I just feel like they definitely need to incorporate that a little bit more and have like Owe and Bowser and a job of hands in the dirt. Like they can stand up here and there, but let them go do what they got drafted to do. Go get the quarterback.
Yeah. But that's all I got today.
Great show, Shannon, as usual. Great topics. She never disappoints. I try not to disappoint. But yeah, like I said, for those that didn't watch it live, check it out on the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and when you hit the notification bell, go all the way up and hit all. The way you can get that way you can get notified every time we go live. That way you won't miss no live streams. Like I said, check this out in the audio versions. All the links are right there in the description. If you can't watch the video, if you're at work, you just want to listen to it. So we got you covered, man. So everybody have an
Mhm.
amazing Thursday. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. MLB. It's Friday Eve, so we see
Mhm.
y'all guys Tuesday. Have an amazing weekend. Make sure y'all trade talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host Justin P and my MVP co-host, the lovely Miss Shannon Finch. Love y'all, and we out. We'll see y'all Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Good night. Bye, Justin.
Bye, Shannon.